Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, and today we're dealing with a 2018 Honda Civic Type R. Now this has 668 horsepower, 682 pounds-feet of torque from a 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 engine, and the vehicle itself weighs in at 2,624 pounds. It now has off-road tyres, all-wheel drive and off-road suspension, and it can do 0 to 60 in 2.141 seconds, 0 to 100 in 4.706 seconds, and going to a top speed of 217 miles an hour. Now you will have noticed that's the same power, torque and engine as the Mini John Cooper Works Countryman All 4 from the previous episode, so it will be interesting to see what this can do in comparison to that vehicle. Now granted, this does weigh 21 pounds less than that Mini, while also being quick in terms of acceleration and, you know, top speed, though that's not all that relevant. So yeah, we'll be interested to see what you can do in comparison to that Mini, because that Mini was surprisingly really quick, going all the way into the 7th place. So yeah, I have to be around there because I was too busy looking at my leaderboard. But yeah, that Mini was a surprise in terms of how quick it was. And yeah, as a result of how quick it was, it means we have 2 Minis in the top 10. So yeah, with this having, you know, much quicker acceleration than that, while weighing slightly less, will be interesting to see what it can do in comparison. Obviously this, even though that Mini is hardly what I'd call a fully fledged SUV, is obviously less inclined to off-roading than that Mini. So the Mini does have that advantage, while also dealing with all-wheel drive originally, whereas this didn't. Getting up to some really rather high speed on that straight bit there. It does feel a little bit less controllable than the Mini. Hectic does not mean slow on this series, as we've found out before. Struggling for traction out of that corner there, which isn't helpful. Blitzing across the finish line, but we are unfortunately slightly slower than the Mini, though not by a massive margin at 2 minutes 5 seconds .052, whereas the Mini managed 2 minutes 4.618. So around half a second in it is not bad at all, considering that Mini, like I said before, had all-wheel drive originally, what is a little bit more off-road orientated than this vehicle. So for only half a second to be in it when they're dealing with the exact same amount of power from the exact same engine while weighing virtually the same is fairly impressive. And it's at least beaten the likes of the Quartz Regalia Type D, Ford Transit SuperSportVan, Opel Manta 400, which is obviously a car that was meant for rallying, as well as the Mitsubishi Lancia Evolution, Mercedes-Benz S-Class and the Renault Alpine A110. And it's not just behind the Mini, but it's also behind the original Land Rover Range Rover, Subaru Rally Car and the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 1LE. So yeah, fairly decent, to be honest. And yeah, it's not even that much behind that original Land Rover, to be honest. It's less than 0.1 of a second. So yeah, fairly impressed by that, considering it's a, you know, an ordinary hot hatchback that is, you know, more favouring, you know, sports roads and track orientated events more than you know, going off-roading. So yeah, fairly impressed by that. Could have been a lot slower. And yeah, as far as hot hatches go, it's not the best. The Citroën DS3 Racing is the best we've had so far, which is nearly a second ahead. But you know, could be a lot worse, especially considering, like I said, never meant for all-wheel drive, never meant for going off-roading, and yeah, certainly wasn't meant for this level of power, more than twice what it had originally. So yeah, fairly impressed by that. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.